What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today I'm jumping into some more Orcs Must Die Unchained. This time we are going to be doing Your Own Devices, the weekly challenge for January 17th, 2017. And I think this time we're going to jump into it with Smolder. Smolder is similar to Midnight in that she also has a lot of movement abilities, but she has a larger mana pool because she is one of the most mana-hungry characters in the game. So let's jump in and I'll talk a bit more about her.
Where there's smoke, there's me.
I gotta say, I also do love the new look of the character sort of overview splash that you get when you load into the game. They sort of removed the old stone bordered one and placed this one, which is like one of their images and then description of their abilities. Either way, Smolder is the Fireborn. She has this as her passive from the ashes. When she dies, she automatically resurrects with 40% of her health and 50% of her mana. There's also a large explosion, which will knock away anything that is not a boss, and anything caught will take a decent amount of damage. The bosses, even if they're in the radius, will take repeated fire damage for a few seconds. And it has a 2-minute cooldown, so you can't just die repeatedly. There is a cap. Although there's a weaver that halves that to a minute, but still you shouldn't be dying more than once a minute. That's pretty crazy. Then we have Heart of Flame. Heart of Flame is her Q ability, and it lets her, actually, it's easy to show you. She moves quicker, and anything that becomes near her is set on fire. Now if I turn it off, I move a little bit slower, and you have to hoof it a bit longer. But it's really useful with her other ability, which is Incinerate. You mash E, and everything that's within about a circular radius of about, what radius is our whatever. Within about 3 spaces of you, 3 full units will be set on fire. So it's got a really decent range. You want to try to use it in the middle of enemies that are on fire, but you have to be able to get in and out. Though Heart of Flame doesn't deal a lot of fire damage, because enemies are on fire, they will be able to add some damage to Incinerate. So that's super important. Then you have her regular attacks. Her left click is Fireball. Doesn't travel super fast, but she can fire it rapidly and it will set whoever's hit on fire. Now the fire damage is part of the attack itself, and it resets every time you hit them, so you can keep enemies on fire and taking that damage over time for quite some time. In addition to that, she has her right click ability, which is a short range AoE. It's Dragon Breath. It does more damage than your left click ability, and it will guaranteed set fire to anything it touches, even if the damage is blocked. Now, the interesting thing about Smolder is that, well, let me actually set these guardians up before too much time passes. All of her attacks count as a different source of damage. So if you want to use Heart of Flame in addition to her regular attack and what else? Her regular attack and Dragon Breath, you can. There's nothing preventing you from doing that. So make sure you stack as much fire damage as possible when using her. I'm just going to make use of this ice amulet since they're giving you a ton of just a ton of mana regeneration for use in this particular challenge. Okay, got the ring back. Nice. So the one thing that will be difficult for you to get back here is going to be health. There is no health regeneration abilities. The only way to get it back is through Guardians. Guardians have a fixed amount of health regeneration, I believe. So you won't be able to gain it back quickly as you start to lose more of it. Still better than nothing though. And since health regeneration is gone as a static stat from all characters now, it's still going to be something you want to pay attention to. Okay. Nice. Alright, and let's go ahead and increase Smolder's max mana. Because why not? happen to group up, just feel free to set them all on fire and then pop your incinerate. It will get you a ton of damage easily, quickly, righteously. Actually, I didn't even need to build all that. That was a mistake. I'll have to sell like half the stuff in the back when this is over. Alright, so these guys are fire fiends. What this means is that you're not going to want to use Smolder's regular attacks against them because they will deal extremely pitiful damage. So the ogres, you're basically just going to want to roast them up so that they don't cause too many issues. If you can hit a fire tornado or incinerate on the fire fiends, it's not too bad damage, just because of the massive AoE that or area that it covers and the amount of enemies that you'll be able to hit. But as far as like one-on-one individual attacks, okay, those are done. Now what I want to do is run out here, start dropping these bad boys around. Pretty much the same thing that I've done with Midnight, if you watched that video already. If not, then this is basically how I prevent myself from having to worry about two sides back here at the same time. So, I believe that we are going to have... Yeah, we did. Okay. Alright. So, you can basically just have these guys murder themselves. As long as you stand near them with Heart of Flame active, they'll run by you, get set on fire, and you won't have much to worry about. Now, as far as taking these guys out, Smolder doesn't have a lot of single target damage. So I would recommend firing your Ice Amulet at them and having their aggro like basically toggle between yourself and your Guardian. Alright, now that guy's gonna get a rest for a little while, and we will want to come back here and close this up. Once we do that, you can hop up over to the left side, turn it off so we can let the mana regenerate, and then start playing with the Ice Amulet again. Just spamming it all over the place. Have a snowball fight with the Orcs. Okay, so once the other guys start getting close to where the Guardian is, you can run back over to him. It's going to be a more important area for you to fight in. If they group up, feel free to use your Lightning Ring. And as long as you don't have Heart of Flame channeling, you will be able to do quite a bit here. Excuse me. Still getting over a pretty vicious flu.
They've summoned a boss minion.
Alright, this boss, you're going to want to run up front for. And then just start belting them. No, actually, you don't even need to do that. Let's just hit it with the regular fireballs for now. When it gets close,
Barricades are under attack.
you just shoot him in the back. Alright, and so he's pretty easy. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to mute out so much coughing. Alright, so these guys are mostly dealt with. Now we have a few that are coming down on the other side. Let's just spray these guys a little bit. Then run back here, help our Guardian out. Okay, this is the last round too, so no reason to hold back at all. I'm gonna grab the Incinerate cooldown as well, which should allow me to cast that much more often. It's Smolder's most powerful ability, and it was recently nerfed just because of how good it is. So make good use of it. It's definitely a good choice anytime you can use it. Okay. Let me turn off Heart of Flame. Not really doing much against these guys, just making you move faster and lose mana. But icicle up the rest of these guys and you should be great.
Excuse me. My assistance was in.
Alright, and there we go. Five stars with Smolder. Alright, so that was about 23 seconds under par. Solid, but not as fast as Midnight, but that's because of the Fire Fiends and their resistance to fire damage, which is probably meant to prevent Smolder from just being absolutely hands down the best choice there. It definitely worked, but still was able to 5-star it with her, so didn't work. It wasn't impossible, but the last character to go through this with, and maybe the hardest, is going to be Oziel, just because he has the lowest movement speed out of everyone there, but he has the potential for high damage. So he's the character I'll go through with it. I'll do it with next, and hopefully I get that up soon for you guys. Either way, thanks as always for watching, guys. I sincerely appreciate it. And until next time, have a good one.